Okay, here's a small apology and disclaimer before we start the video. This video was supposed to come out yesterday. It may still be July 4th for someone in some time zone, but I say like twice in this video that it's July 4th when it actually turned out not to be. I tried my best to get this video out as close to July 4th as I possibly could, but I failed to do that. It's 1 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording this, and I lost all the progress for the video that you're about to watch. I was trying to make it look as good as it possibly could while I was completely rushing it, but then Adobe Premiere crashed and I lost all my progress. This is a 23-minute video, so you can tell just by the tone of my voice I am very furious. So what you're going to have to deal with in this video is just some still images, so just listen to the audio, and I hope you enjoy the video regardless of the horrible things that's happened in production of this video. I promise the next couple OKKO first impressions will be much higher quality than what you get in this video. Hope you enjoy. Good morning, world, and all who inhabit it. My name's Noah, and welcome to another first impression series, immediately after I started another one. And similar to the Welcome to the Wayne First Impression series, I'm going to be joined by another special guest. The person I have joining with me has recently made a video where he talks about the show that we're covering in this series. And that person just happens to be the one and only Nintendo. Say hello.
Hello everyone, Nintendo here, and I am going to talk about OKKO. I mean, I already did it before, but I'm, really excited to do it again. Something in my review that I kind of regret is not really going into each episode. That was more to just keep everything short and sweet. But here, this is going to give me an opportunity to just look into every episode and really see what we like and what we don't like about them. And I think you guys are going to enjoy it.
Indeedly doodly. Also, love the use of that elusive intro that you barely ever use for your reviews.
I mean, when I start my videos, I'm just like, well, I gotta have the copyright thing or else companies are gonna take down my videos, so Sometimes I just kind of jump right in, you know? I'm not really good at that.
Oh, so we were talking before the video about how I haven't listened to many songs, but you just said jump right in, and I immediately thought of a Zac Brown Band song, so I at least know my country music.
Noah, you're going off topic again. We're supposed to talk about weird anime boys in plazas, so let's go.
Alright, so by the time this video comes out, it'll be July 4th, so happy America Day. Enjoy your patriotism as much as you so well deserve to. If you're not living in America, then what I'm saying means nothing to you. Celebrate America anyway, I guess. So, there's going to be a video on today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and we're going to be talking about the 3 half hours of OKKO, Let's Be Heroes, that came out on Cartoon Network's website a while back. I know it's taken me a while to actually start a series on the show, but I didn't think I was going to be doing this first impressions anyway, so oh well. So in this episode of OKKO First Impressions, we're going to be talking about the first 2 episodes, Let's Be Heroes and Let's Be Friends. So we might as well start by talking about Let's Be Heroes. Nick, I think you could summarize the plot better than I could.
Alright. So, we meet all of the characters and get introduced to everything. We're done.
Well, except for Buttman. He's introduced in the next episode.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into specifics.
Yes.
So, in the episode, we have a boy. His name is KO, and he's excited about superheroes and stuff, and he wants to be like all his favorite heroes. But his mom, she's all like, well, KO, you gotta train to be a hero. And KO's like, no, I'm just gonna be a kid and ignore you for the entire episode.
I'm just gonna skip right to the finish, you know?
I just want to cut right to the chase, which is realistic. That's how a kid would do.
Progress doesn't matter. I know that because the carousel of progress, the one time I went on it, it broke down. So progress doesn't matter.
That's really funny.
It really, and like, it's, like someone was standing up or something, the thing wouldn't turn around, so we just had to watch this same part of it on loop. It was torture.
That's really funny.
I know.
Wow.
Oh.
That's super ironic. Anyway, KO's mom works at Lakewood Plaza Turbo, which is this strip mall for superheroes. It's where all these different heroes come together, they go work out and buy some food and stuff, and it's a really cool setting because there's a ton of different heroes and character designs, and that's one thing I really like in the design aspect of the show is that there's so many different designs, and they're all unique. It's not like, hey, let's just take this one character, change his hair and clothes. I'm not referring to anything specific. I mean, maybe like 3D movies sometimes when they reuse character models.
Despicable Me 3.
Well, like every CGI movie does it, not just Despicable Me 3.
Well, I mean, it's even more obvious with... I'm going to be talking about that next podcast. I got a few choice words for that movie.
Yeah. I'm super excited to see one of my heroes, Trey Parker from South Park, completely humiliate himself and make bad 80s references. I'm super hyped for that.
He even has a line where he has to voice crack like a boy going through puberty. So
that's so ironic because he voices boys going through puberty.
Oh, you go into his roots. Despicable Me, those people know their stuff.
Yeah, they know their stuff. They're super smart, and this is becoming an episode of one of our podcasts because we're constantly getting off topic, okay? Anyway, yeah. I'm not even done summarizing the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Noah, you said these were going to be as long as your SpongeBob recaps, but this is going to be a podcast episode, and the bad thing is you're going to have to edit this. You're going to have to edit me saying all these things with my little character guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, speaking of your little avatar thing, Nick has an avatar now, so...
Yeah, it's pretty
neat.
So, KO goes to the shopping mall. KO's mom tells KO to buy some stuff at the bodega. So he goes there and he buys all this cool stuff. And he thinks that just buying a bunch of stuff can make him a hero because he's a kid and he's kind of stupid.
As a kid myself, well, more post-kid, I can definitely say from experience, kids can be dumb. I can be dumb. Yes.
What I like about just KO as a character is he's kind of like Steven Universe. He feels like someone you could know. The way he acts and talks feels like someone you could know. And I really like that we're getting a lot more of those child characters rather than just, I'm a kid. Oh, I'm annoying. Aren't kids annoying? And then you kind of like making fun of the target audience of your show.
Yeah, I don't understand why like kid shows do that.
Like kid shows have like two kinds of kid characters. It's either Bart Simpson or annoying little kid. Like that's it.
Yeah, if only we had more kid characters like the kid in Lego figures.
No, you're having more inside jokes. No one likes it when you do inside jokes, okay?
It's on the same channel that this video is on. People should know.
Anyway, KO also meets the different characters in the show. He meets Radicles, Rad. He's a blue guy. He's an alien guy. He's kind of like that guy from Dragon Ball because he's an alien. But he's blue instead of green. That's a great description. I'm pretty sure that's how they pitched the character in the show. It's like, he's like that guy from Dragon Ball, except he's blue.
I'm imagining Angels QWERTY now.
Alright guys, this is how we're gonna do the show.
And because he's so perfect, I'm gonna voice him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he voices the character. All the voice actors in this show are good. Yeah, Ian Jones Cordy does a good job too.
The voice change... It's really jarring. Personally, there's a huge difference between KO's voice in the first 3 episodes and KO's voice in 4, 5, and 6. But I got used to it after a little while. But after going from episode 3 to episode 4, it's just, that deepened.
I'll talk about that more later. But anyway, Radicles is this kind of self-obsessed guy who secretly wants the respect of his friends. Is not really going to let on to that. And we also have Enid, who is a girl who is... Actually, can you describe her? I'm really hard trying to think of a way to describe her. I didn't describe the characters very well in my review, so you can probably one-up me on that.
I'm not good at describing things at all. I spend most of the time just saying like.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, goodness gracious. So, Enid, she's a slacker, just like Rad, but she's more sarcastic, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe her.
She cares way less about everything.
She's more sensible, and she's not as willing to just jump right into every situation as Rad is. Those two characters kind of balance each other out, and I like that. There's dynamics between both Enid and Rad, and also KO, Rad, and Enid. I like that.
And you made a good point in your video that they're kind of similar, but they have enough traits to make them worthy of being separate characters.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I also like how they're teenagers and not straight up adults or straight up kids. Making them teenagers is just kind of, you don't see a ton of kid looking up to the teenager kind of dynamic. I like seeing that.
Why would they be kids?
I don't know. KO's a kid, he's working at the store too. I mean, Mr. Gar could hire kids too, you know? That's like totally open.
I'm just imagining kid Rad and Enid. It's just like, oh,
That's gonna be an episode. They're gonna turn them into kids. You'll see.
The Ben 10 reboot did it, where the old lady turned people into babies, and they're like, oh no. And that's it.
Oh no, we're babies.
Wah!
Is that the plot? Oh no, we're babies.
Yeah.
Can they talk even though they're
babies?
babies?
They can still talk.
Oh my god, that's so stupid.
I know.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if I'm going to review the Ben 10 reboot. I really don't know. Anyway, let's finish recapping this episode. So, then this evil robot guy shows up. He just kind of pops in from a giant box. His name is Daryl. He wrecks up some crap, and Rad and Enid are like, yo, KO, you should set this one out. And KO's like, no, guys, I can handle it. I'm a hero just like you guys. Then he starts beating up Daryl in this really cool action scene, and there's some pretty sweet music. But uh-oh, plot twist! It was all just in his head.
Hey, at least it's a better fantasy sequence than the whole tooth.
Oh, yeah.
Better plot twist than in the chase sequence. The whole tooth.
I do like how it kind of almost catches you off guard. Halfway through the dream sequence, I'm like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. How can he be so good?
Yeah.
That was a pretty well executed part of the episode. It did catch me a bit off guard.
Definitely. Also, side note, Daryl is best robot.
Daryl is the best robot.
He's adorkable.
I'm kind of an Ernesto guy myself, but...
yeah.
So, one more thing I want to mention about this episode. At the beginning, when Daryl shows up, he blasts the R in the Gar's Bodega sign, and that stays blown up for the rest of the episode. But by the second episode, when they're cleaning everything up, they're just cleaning up the trash on the ground. The R's fixed. Yeah.
Maybe they fixed...
No, well, it only takes place a minute after the previous episode ended. Almost no time passed between the two episodes.
Point. Unless maybe like there's some thing in OKKO universe where if you throw someone's head, it takes a long time.
No, you're thinking way too hard about this.
You never know.
No.
There could be a lot of mysteries and secrets. OKKO is a Gravity Falls ripoff. Many secrets.
I know. I'm waiting for all the twists. Actually, I have a secret theory that Rad's gonna have a super sad backstory about him being from another planet. I'm secretly thinking that they're gonna pull a Steven Universe and make that I'm from another planet thing a really sad thing somehow. But we'll see.
Well, they do. Well, we already have that one foreshadowed flashback thing with Mr. Gar and
we'll get to
mom.
that. We'll get to that. Anyway, let's finish talking about Let's Be Heroes, the episode.
Yes.
Not the show.
We were talking about the show.
Well, we're talking about the show.
We're trying
But
to,
the episode's called
at
Let's
least.
Be Heroes. It's like when, it is a pilot episode, so it's okay if it has a bad name, because half of all pilot episodes have really crap names. They're either just called Pilot, or they recycle the title of the show or something, I don't know.
Well, this wasn't a pilot, so...
Yeah,
it has no excuse.
Yeah, you're right, it doesn't. But anyway, I like the episode. I've heard people say that it's a bit cliche, and I guess you could say the ending kind of is, and just kind of KO's attitude, but I think it's just kind of necessary character development. He has to start out, he can't just start knowing everything right in the world. That's not how kids work. Kids have to be taught a lesson that not everything they think is right. So I think that having him learn to set realistic expectations was a good lesson, and I think the episode executed nicely. And without making KO unlikable. In all these episodes, KO doesn't always have the right mindset, especially in your level 100, but he's never unlikable. You always can understand where his mindset is, and I think that's signs of a really well-written character, if you can make them likable even when they don't have the best ideas in mind.
It seems like they're taking a hyperactive child character and taking out all of the annoying parts of it.
Yeah.
Just keeping the positivity of the character, but making them actually adorable instead of just in-your-face annoying. I do like that.
Yeah. Oh, Noah, I want to ask you, what do you think about the anime influence and just the kind of video games and anime influence that is very abundant in the show?
I think they're alright. They're not really necessary. And sometimes I'm not really sure which is what because I don't really play many video games or watch much anime. Also, I just gotta point this out. In the podcast, I said animes instead of anime, and I'm really upset about that.
Dude, it's funny when you say animes.
But I think that from what I've recognized, they take their influence and put it in the style of this show pretty well. And even though it may not look like an exact reference to anime, like the style is not entirely accurate, and the video game references, they're pretty subtle. I think that they are well executed in the show that they're being put in.
Yeah, like I said in my review, they're either subtle or they do something they're like actually part of the plot, but they're still subtle in that when they are used in the plot, they're never like, hey guys, we're gonna have a video game tournament or something.
Hey guys!
You know? Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think that's a pretty well done aspect of the show. So yeah, I think the pilot episode is a good introduction. Actually, talking about introductions, I love how everything's kind of introduced.
Definitely.
It does take, I want to say, like I said in my, I'm going to stop saying, like I said in my review, just go watch my review. Because I cover, like, anything, if I don't talk about anything specific, it's probably covered in my review. But anyway, the show takes kind of a Futurama approach to kind of getting you hooked on the world, where it's just like, hey guys, here's this universe, throw everything at once. Just kind of try to take everything in. This is the show, and then all these little aspects, we go into them a little bit more. Like, here's a bunch of these heroes, but over these episodes, we'll get to know them a bit better. Like, I like that, really hooking you in, and more shows really need to hook you in. They can't just be like, hey guys, like my show, you know? They have to really get me a reason to care, and I think this is a good example of really how to set up a show. Yes, the pilot episode is a bit cliche with its moral, but I think it pays off in the end. It makes a pretty satisfying episode.
I think that, yeah, I do agree with you that it is a good start to the series, and yeah, it was well paced. There were some moments that I didn't expect, so yeah, pretty good.
Noah, how about you recap Let's Be Friends so it doesn't take like 5 minutes this time?
Okay, so in this episode, KO asks Brad and Enid, okay, I want a job here so I can train to become a hero, and they're like, nah, I don't know. But then he's like, oh, but I want to help, you know, I want to help you guys, I'm great at helping. So he like, tries to help him out, but he ends up just getting in the way, and they get kind of mad at him, so he walks away.
Wait, you forgot to...
Oh, wait,
at the
wait.
Same time, there's a subplot. No, you can't forget the subplot.
I wasn't forgetting that. I just realized my mistake. At the beginning of the episode, we're introduced to Lord Boxman, who operates this company, Boxmore, and he makes all these killer robots, but his main purpose as the villain of the series is he wants to get rid of friendship because A, he thinks it's disgusting, and B, friendship means nobody's buying his robots, so he doesn't get money, and that's not good, because
money's good, guys. Going to the Mr. Krabs School of Thought. Anyway.
So after the two things that I explained, so the beginning scene with Lord Boxman, he just basically explains his purpose, and then we're introduced to this new robot named Shannon, and she's like, okay, no, I have a plan to stop KO and friendship and stuff, and he's like, okay, go do it, and she's like, okay, I'll do it. And so after the stuff with KO trying to help out and messing up and stuff, he walks out and he's upset and he's like, what do I do to impress them? And Shannon comes out in an incredibly obvious disguise.
She has like lipstick smeared all over her face.
Yeah, I'm surprised KO wasn't suspicious at all.
It's funny, so I don't care.
Yeah, it is. So she says, oh, you should go into Boxman's lair and try and defeat him. Show Rad and Enid your worth. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. He goes into Boxman's lair, and Rad and Enid find out that he ran away and stuff. So they're going to try and get him back. And then so Boxman captures KO, and he's like, oh yeah, Rad and Enid, they're mad at you now. They're gonna beat you up. They're not gonna be friends with you. And KO's like, no, it's because I got in their way and stuff, and now they're here to beat me up. And then so Rad and Enid, they come into Boxmore, and they're like, hey, where were you? Well, we were so concerned. What you did took a lot of guts, so we're cool with you. We're friends now. And Boxman's like, no, that's not good. I don't like that.
He does some backflips over the pain. It's like too much for him to handle.
Yep. Yeah, he just gets blasted away from
that's
their friendship. Funny. Yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, no, never mind. I'll just deal with you guys later. So he sends them back to the plaza. So Rad and Enid tried to give KO a job at Mr. Gar's bodega, but Mr. Gar's like, no, you guys are untrustworthy. I don't think you guys would make any good recommendations to me. Then Carol's like, hey, come on, what about a recommendation from me? Would you trust that? Give him the job, please. And so apparently Mr. Gar has a crush on Carol, so he's like, fine, whatever. So now KO has a job as the bodega's helper, and we'll elaborate on that in the next episode. So that's it for this first episode.
Wait, no, we didn't talk about the episode.
Oh,
what
wait,
are you doing? You just recapped the episode.
Recap the episode. Oh my goodness, my videos have so many problems.
I like the episode. I'm gonna keep saying that because I basically like every episode. There has not been a bad episode yet. And what I liked about this episode in particular, probably the highlight was Lord Boxman. Jim Cummings, my man, does a awesome job. He's basically like the crotchety old neighbor, but he has money and wealth. And he, for some reason, has like a bird hand. It's really, I don't know why he has it, but it fits with the evil Saturday morning villain motif. And I like his character design. In this episode, he like bounces around and spins around, and it's really entertaining. My favorite line is when he puts KO in the center of the room and waits for Rad and Enid to rescue him. So he just wants to watch them because he's expecting Rad and Enid to beat up KO. So he just goes into the back and he's like, I'm gonna hide in the shadows like a total creep.
Like a total creep. Yeah,
that's like my favorite line. Anyway, other stuff, I don't know. It's a cool episode. I like the part where they were really supportive of KO. That felt like realistic because I'm glad. Another thing, they didn't make KO this annoying little kid character. They actually made him like someone, like I believe that they became friends at the end of the episode. It wasn't just like, oh shoot, we had to end the episode. How are we gonna do it, guys?
By Enid and Rad, they look at their butts and they throw up.
Dude, stop referencing things that no one's gonna get.
Watch the podcast. It's an advertisement for the podcast.
No one watches the podcast, Noah. It's got like -5 views, okay?
I mean, after the re-upload, you know? Even less people.
Well,
I think this episode is only just decent, really. It's your typical person messes up, thinks that people hate him, but they don't hate him and they're fine with him. It's just like, that's sort of part of the episode. Just wasn't that enjoyable for me. Just felt like, okay, this is a thing. Gotta get through this. But I do love the Boxman stuff. There's tiny little jokes, tiny little things that I would not do justice trying to say myself. But there were some good moments. There were some moments that were just, But overall, I think this is a good setup to KO getting the job at Gar's bodega.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree that the episode's only okay. I just loved Jim Cummings so much as Lord
Definitely.
Boxman.
He did a really good job.
He makes the episode. He's just like a great voice actor, and Boxman's my favorite character in the show. Oh yeah, the scene where KO sneaks into the factory is also pretty enjoyable.
Oh, he zips through the door, and then one of the Daryls is like, hey, it doesn't do anything else.
Yeah. No, my favorite part from that scene is where KO grabs a box and is like, beep boop, I'm a robot, as he passes by the robots, and one of the robots like, are we supposed to find that offensive?
Yeah, like I said, there are a lot of really good lines and small quips in the episode that it's just hard to do justice.
Yeah. I would say the episodes are about on par with each other, but yeah, no, I think it's a pretty solid start. It did get me interested in the show, and I'm excited to watch more.
Well, let me have one more note I wanted to make. The animation in this series is probably some of the most fluid stuff I've seen in a cartoon in a really long time.
I think it can occasionally be super fluid. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's intentionally choppy. I don't know. I love the animation style. It can be a bit inconsistent when it comes to shading and just like general quality. I guess some people could call some of the off-model stuff bad, but I enjoy it. I think it can look really funny sometimes.
I think it's sort of a stylistic inconsistency. They do it when it's necessary, not all the time.
Yeah.
So like if they're having just a normal conversation, then they know to keep it just pretty straightforward. But when they're like, oh, KO's getting excited or something, then they really bring up all those crazy expressions and stuff. Like I especially notice in like future episodes, especially in episode 3, especially I do see.
Oh yeah, we'll get to episode 3. But yeah, I think that wraps it up.
Yeah, definitely. It's been long enough. Goodness gracious. We're 34 minutes in.
No, are you going to edit this audio down? Okay?
I am definitely going to
make sure I don't talk over you.
Yeah.
Find something to end this video out on.
Thanks for watching this first episode of the OKKO First Impressions series. Hope you enjoyed, and until my next video, stay tuned. See ya, bye.